Yeah, I mean, I was quite surprised about Neil's presentation there when we saw that the interest for the Nordics had actually gone down. I don't know if that is because Sweden especially, but also the other Nordic countries are perceived as very expensive, or they just don't see any opportunities there. But I would say that the international interest has remained strong all through the last couple of years. We get a lot of visits, but so far we haven't really seen an impact on the office market because the domestic institutions has been so very, very strong. But I would say that in both retail and logistics, the international investors are driving the pricing, I would definitely say.
I think there's one thing that is very important for the Nordic region, and that is whether you are, the leverage that you are buying with has a very big impact in the Nordic region, because financing has been very hard to get unless you had cash. Cash is really king. It's starting to be God at the moment, I think. And for the Nordic region, it's been difficult getting the financing unless you had a fair amount of equity, which means that the international investors, when they come in, have to compete very strongly against the local pension funds. And as you saw on the presentation from you, Neil, then 80% is actually cross-border within the Nordic region. And a lot of the pension funds and life insurance companies are actually buying for their own balance sheet. So I would actually say, not totally agreeing with you, I would say the drivers in the market right now is the local pension funds. They're the ones driving the market and the yields down at the moment. And then you have the more private investors. In my point of view, they're actually sitting more on the bench right now looking at the others playing on the field because they have more cash than the private investors have. At least they don't go up leverage. They don't leverage their investments that high. And that's why they get the interesting financing and can do some very competitive bids for the properties. And in Denmark, for sure, I mean, we have pension funds who've been stating now that they are going to spend several billions. They're actually liquidating some of their investments internationally just to go back to Denmark and buy because they think it's the time to do it now.
Say that they are driving in the office market, the core segment of the office market. There you see the pension funds have been driving. But for retail, I would say they are not that important. That's mostly international investors. Prime logistics, it will be some international and some Swedes. And for secondary logistics, it will be mostly Swedes. So it's different for different segments. But the pension funds, they have been the main driver in the market as general. But that has mostly been core offices. And in 2012, there was a huge supply of core products in the market. We will not see that in 2013. That means we will see the pension fund trying to find new ways to deploy the capital. Maybe take on some more value add, maybe find some new sectors. For instance, logistics is one of those sectors where we do not see any Swedish institutional money into, which you will see abroad, that you have quite a lot of institutional money into the logistics sector, but so far not in Sweden. But that is something that will happen.